I am now introducing to you Wayne Connell. Wayne is the president of Invisible Disabilities Association. IDA has been advocating and raising awareness for people with invisible disabilities since 1996. So we're delighted to have Wayne here with us today. Please welcome Wayne.
Okay, is my mute off? It is. So welcome, Colorado. Can I hear you guys all right? So I thought today I'd tell you a little story. So I've got a little story here, and I got to get it kind of ready here just a sec. So I thought I'd start a little story, and the little story starts out with these little shoes here, little ballet shoes. And there was a girl who grew up here who loved to dance as a little girl. And as she got older, you know, you get all those dreams, and you get a chance to do things like cheerleading and stuff, and do athletics. And you get involved in pom-pom girls, right? And I don't know if you recognize the colors, but these are actually Grand Junction colors. But so, all right, got some Grand Junction, yeah. So, you know, love to cheerlead, do pom-poms, all those fun things, right? Because that's what little girls love to do, right? They get up and do those things. And as they get older, you know, they make it an opportunity to do some beauty pageants, right? Like maybe even Mrs. Grand Junction, okay? But yeah, you have opportunity. Maybe you want to do some modeling and some acting and those things. And so, you know, that's what little girls want to do. I mean, they want to grow up and do things and do amazing things and stuff. But it's more than just beauty and more than just acting and dancing and maybe musical theater and drama and all those things. But it's kind of more than that, because, you know, you want to go out and you want to make a change in the world. You want to make a difference in the world, right? And so you go out and you get all dressed up, and you work hard in college, and you work hard in college, and you get a job. And you're excited about this job, right? Because this job is allowing you to use those skills and talents and everything that you worked hard on, right? And maybe this job is about, you know, learning numbers and accounting and all those fun things. And you're thinking, I got some dreams here. And maybe those dreams are, I can make an impact on people. Maybe I'll get a job with the government, and they'll help pay for maybe a master's degree, so I can go and make a difference in people's lives and impact. And you know, and maybe you're in your mid to late 20s, and you're going like, hey, this is like crazy amazing, and I mean, life is like really good. And then one day, you can't move your leg. It's kind of doesn't move. It's paralyzed. But you know, you're this tough person, so you drive to work in a stick mobile. If you guys even know what a stick car is, right? I mean, kids nowadays don't know what that is, but you drive and you actually use your hands to push the clutch in and shift, because you can't move your left leg. And so you're like moving your leg and shifting and, you know, doing all this crazy, talk about distracted driving, right? So doing all these things, and then all of a sudden, you know, both legs are gone, right? And you're paralyzed. You end up in the hospital trying to figure out what's going on, you know, what's happening. But there's visibility to what just happened, because you're in a wheelchair from this paralysis, and people can see you're in a wheelchair. Like, you're in a wheelchair, okay, I get it. You're in a wheelchair, I can see that. And you're thinking, you know what, I'm still gonna change the world. I got these dreams and stuff. I can do it from a wheelchair, right? I mean, in Colorado, you can do sled hockey, or you can do skiing or rugby. You know, a wheelchair doesn't necessarily limit a person, but yeah, exactly right. So, but what happens is, what if there's things like pain? You know, what do you do with the pain, right? The pain's not going away. You're diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, but there's this pain. You can't figure that out. And as the pain comes along, there's this diagnosis of Lyme disease. And what is this crazy thing? And it's been going on for 14 years. You know, here you are, 28 years old, and you're not able to work anymore, and you're not able to do these things. And so what happens? You start to become invisible. Okay? Oh, lost one of the shoes even. You start to become invisible, right? Because what happens is, all those people that are like, hey, I'm gonna be behind you, you know, I got you. All of a sudden they're like, well, wow, it's going on for like months and months and months and years and stuff. I don't know how to deal with it. So since I don't know what to do, guess what I don't do? Anything. So I kind of move on. But you're still here. You know, chronic is not always necessarily fatal. So chronic could mean for like 50 more years of your life. You don't know that. So But your dream was always this, hey, I want to show people how amazing I am, so when you get a chance to go in public, you do it all up. Bling, 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 big time, right? Okay, I bet you didn't even know these shoes existed. No, they weren't done with a bedazzler either. I mean, these are the real deal. Bummers, they don't make it anymore, but hey. But you want to show people, because your shoes are important, right? It's what you showed. These are all these things, and you want people to see you. You do exist. They just don't know you exist anymore, right? So you get the opportunity, and you get married. Cool, right? Because you've been able to walk again now. I mean, you got used to your legs, and you get married, and you think, okay, I got some dreams here. I'm gonna be a wife, and I'm gonna get married, and it's gonna be what does that look like, right? And the person you married, do they know what they're signing up for? Probably not. Okay, so we kind of move down, right? But life goes on. Days and months and years go on. And all of a sudden those dreams of, you can't do it anymore, People talk about being disabled. It's really when you're unable to do things, okay? You wish you could. You wish you could go back to this working thing. In fact, you might even have dreams. You wake up, you've got a job at the grocery store, and you're all excited. You're like, wow, I got a job. And you wake up and it's like, darn it. My life is not about that anymore, and I wish I could do that. And people will say, well, you're lucky you don't have to work. And you're like, well, lucky, you're standing too far from me for me to get too close to you. So those things happen, and then you think, you know what? But you do have a little love in your life, and your love in your life is you love safari, okay? I mean, come on. Who doesn't love animals, right? A trip to Animal Kingdom down there in Disney World, or maybe, but you love to go on a safari because you just love animals, right? Because animals love you unconditionally. Okay, and so you got this, you think, I want these in public too because I want people to know that I love animals, right? So you work through that, but you can't go on safari, right? You see all these safaris and you can't go on safari because it's just too far to go to Africa, right? And so you get animals yourself, right? And maybe you move in the country and you get a couple goats, right? Because goats are cool, okay? And so what's great about goats? They love you. Okay, and maybe these goats are named Pumpkin and Cookie, right? Like, who names their animals delicious names, right? Pumpkin and Cookie. And Pumpkin and Cookie actually become therapy goats, okay? So they actually become goats because they love to cuddle, and they know that now Mommy, who can't have children on her own, they become her children and they become her friend, right? Because she's got nobody. Everybody's abandoned her. They've left her, and she's out there all alone. And so what is life like today? Yes. It's fuzzy pajamas and slippers, okay? Good thing Walmart exists with millions of different kinds of fuzzy pajamas, okay? But this is what your life is now. It's at home, it's trapped, your lifeline is to the world through the internet, through millions missing. I mean, that's what happens. It's like, that's my community now. And this is what it's about. It becomes this. Because you're missing, you're not here today. So my wife, Sherri's not here today, okay? She couldn't make it. This was too hard for her today to come here. And yes, these are all her shoes. I couldn't believe I found them. And we're missing here, right? So imagine living with an illness that people can't see. I mean, many of you imagine that. You're like, nobody can see what I'm going through. But when they find it even harder to believe it, when you share with them, tell them this is what it is. It's ME, it's chronic fatigue, it's multiple sclerosis, it's fibromyalgia, it's Lyme disease, it's all these different illnesses, it's PTSD, it's multiple chemical sensitivity, okay? But people don't believe it. Give an example, like multiple chemical sensitivity. That's another one of those names. It's like people who are ill from chemicals, what, sensitivity? No, deathly ill, but we use this term, we call it sensitive, right? It actually makes them really sick. And what's the main cure for something like that? Avoidance. Wow, how cool is that? You're trying not to be isolated. The only thing you can do is avoid people that are wearing it, so you actually have to be isolated to be around it. And you become out of sight, out of mind, right? That's what happens. And all of a sudden, your friends, hey, I always call it the 13-week club. They hang around for 12 weeks, and at week 13, they're like gone. Because that's all we can handle as humans. It's kind of that whole thing of, how do we keep going? How do we keep on that? But you become out of you put it out of mind, you become isolated, alone, you get disregarded, right? I mean, you may spend a half an hour sharing with somebody, and they're like, what's your problem? And you're like, well, let me tell you. And you spend a half an hour with them, they're like, as we mentioned earlier, yeah, well, I'm tired too, You mean you're tired because you went to the zoo and you went to work and all those things. You know, you're tired because you did things. You're not tired because your bones ache and your body aches. And they don't get it. So, but what if you have ME, or you have multiple chemical sensitivity, and you have Lyme disease, and you have multiple sclerosis, you have PTSD, and you have all these things that people think, oh, you're just crazy. No, these are real things that you have. It's more than one. And still we don't believe people. They just spend a half an hour telling you what they're going through, and we don't believe them. Yeah, if we would only believe them, right? Right? I mean, that's what we want to do, is we want to, come on, we need to believe people. This is why Invisible Disabilities was started, right? The organization was started because people didn't believe. We'd park in disabled parking and people would scream at us. They're like, there's nothing wrong with your wife. And they'd scream at you. And we wrote a pamphlet called Don't Judge by Your Appearances. Because the person standing in front of you at that car, that you're trying to defend them, may be that person right there that you're really trying to defend, and you need to listen to them. But the story goes on and on around the world, right? This is why the millions missing is around the world. This is a world thing. It's not just here in the U.S., but it's all around the world. So our organization our desire is to really encourage, educate, and connect. I hope that person's okay, right? And I hope they get to him on time. So we're about encouraging and educating and connecting people, right? It is about connection. You know, it's about having a Facebook page and people connecting, because you need a place where you can go and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. You need a connection. But we're trying to look at the deeper roots of society as an organization. Our organization is not about finding a cure of the illness. What we want to do is find a cure of their hearts, because if your friends and family don't believe you, how are they going to help you get help? If they think you're making this up, how are they going to help you, right? So somebody needs to come in and do that. So that's what we're really trying to do. But we're here to support the millions that are missing, right? All these people that are missing, right? And their caregivers, right? I mean, the reality is, you didn't sign up for it either. Okay, maybe I did sign up for it, but I didn't know what I was totally signing up for. I just knew that there was this blonde, and I was like, okay, smart, funny, gorgeous, what do I know, right? And amazing. So I did sign up for that, okay? But I didn't know. We didn't know what the whole thing was going to be. We thought, hey, she's going to be back to work and dancing and singing in like a year or something like that. We don't know. But the reality is that the caregivers, and we want to have an opportunity to influence, right? To make changes in our society, right? Because our society needs to say, it is real. If somebody shares it with you, it is real. Acknowledge what they're going through. Gee whiz. You know, nothing's worth being stuck in your home, right? Absolutely. We okay over here? I think he fell off the stairs, so. But, you know, so I brought one more pair of shoes here. Okay? And these shoes are my trail runners, okay? And the reason why I got trail runner shoes is because it's a journey, a lifetime journey of running. It's a lifetime journey of trudging and climbing and all these things. So you gotta have trail runners with good soles and the ability to keep things moving along. And because the millions that are missing, what we want to see is that they are invisible no more. That's our vision as Invisible Disabilities, is that you would be invisible no more. That means that your story would matter. That people wouldn't come to you and think you're any different than anybody else. Yes, you're going through difficult times. Incredible difficult times. But we should treat you like you're an amazing part of this human race. We should treat you the same. So that's why I've got these. And we actually made these cool little badges for a reason. I live with an invisible disability, right? Because people say, well, I don't have an invisible disability, right? I mean, what's that, right? And that's what they're going to ask you. What's cool is you pull these little cards out, and it's a definition of invisible disability. You give it to them, right? Because having to explain it sometimes is part of the battle, right? And so I'm so thrilled to be here today. We founded Invisible Disabilities here in Colorado, and excited to be here in our home state. And so thrilled to see what you guys are doing with millions. I've been watching Jennifer Bree and the amazing story of unrest and all those amazing things. But really, this is visibility. And as an organization, our goal is to make sure that you have huge visibility. Okay? And I'll share you something that's very exciting. We haven't shared this publicly really yet, but the state of Alaska has adopted our logo on state IDs and state driver's licenses to show visibly that you have an illness. And we're going to go all 50 states with it, okay? Because nothing's worse than your child with autism be told that they're just acting up, and you can show them an actual state ID that has a logo on it that says, yeah, you know what, this is real, okay? And so we're so excited about that, but we're so excited about coming alongside other organizations because you guys are doing amazing research and all those things to help support, and we're going to support you too, so thank you so much.